evening. Good evening.
How exciting! So we're fighting over who should say the intro. So I surrender.
I actually said to you, would you like to do the introduction tonight?
I surrender. You can do the intro.
It's always me doing the introduction. So I thought, why don't you do it for a change?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Richie and Rogue Show. And how amazing is it that we have another day, another live, where we are here in your living room or on your phone or on your tablet. And you get
Could
to
even be on the bog or watching on their phone, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people go there for the rest,
I used to do that.
Well, go on your phone.
Sometimes you just need a bit of a break, like from the household. And it's just like, I'm going to go and sit on the toilet and just scroll. Some people call it doom scrolling, but I actually like to have a look and see what's really going on.
Yeah.
And I would watch it.
So basically, you're having a shit while watching loads of shit on your phone. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Well, hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Richie and Rogue Show. As Rogue has already mentioned, it's great to have you viewing tonight, whether you're watching on YouTube here or you're on X watching us. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to have you on with us. We want to say thank you to all of our new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, why not? And also don't forget to follow us on all the social media platforms which we're on.
X, Facebook, TikTok, and obviously YouTube and Instagram.
Absolutely. So make sure you follow us and share, like, and subscribe so we can get more and more people on. And we want to thank you as well to Craig Houston, who was on with us on Monday night. Sunday night. Fantastic story. Incredible.
Do you know what? He was so funny because he's Scottish and the way that he delivered stuff, I just thought it was brilliant. But then when he just went deadpan and was just like, that Kevin is he's right changed. Yeah. Did you like that? Is that Scottish?
That's really good. The only thing is, I got a confession to make. I can do it now. Sorry, Craig, if you're watching. I couldn't understand a word he said for an hour and a half. So the whole show, I'm Welsh, and he's Scottish, and I'm going, yeah. And I thought, please, in my head, I'm thinking, please, Craig, do not ask me a question. Please don't ask me a question. But I did understand what he had to say because I know his story, which is incredible, which is two-tier policing, two-tier justice, when he was arrested for simply pointing out something a Muslim mayor had said or a councillor had said, calling people in.
Well, actually, no, he just reiterated.
She said people in politics are too pale, male, and stale.
Pale, male, stale. And so because he repeated it back just like we've done,
he got arrested.
And charged.
But pale, male, stale, I don't know why, it reminds me of a pie. I don't know. Do you know, like a
milk pie?
No, like what do they call them? I can't remember the name of the pies anyway.
What is wrong with you?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. We're with people to jump on. Just going to go for some of the comments as well. Good evening, guys. Yes, great to have you on. Our records are on. Love to Howard. Howard will be on in a second. He's waiting in the dressing room.
In the green room.
Yes, it's nice to be back in the studio, though. Thank you guys for all your love. Keep it coming in. We love you so much and appreciate you. Thank you to those of you who've been on our community here on YouTube as well. As you know, we have a community here. You can ask questions. And don't forget as well, also...
Who's scrolling?
Also, go to our website as well, because on there, if you want to contact us, you can.
Indeed.
richieandrogue.com. And I can tell you, we see all your emails as well. We don't pass them on to a team because this is the team. So please do get in touch with any questions, anything else as well. We're really excited tonight because we've got a good friend of the show on, and he's an amazing guy. People always speak very highly of Howard, even behind his back, and that's rare these days because normally in politics,
people
slag you off.
Yeah, they do. We've heard stuff about us, haven't we?
Oh, I get stuff stopping me all the time.
No, but it's actually included me now. There has been absolute gossip about us too, and I'm just sat there just
apparently we're flattered on drugs.
Apparently.
I think it's because you're hyper,
I'm ADHD. But the truth is, people have actually, and I've never ever touched drugs in my life.
You haven't actually,
I find it absolutely absurd. But when people start saying stuff, it's like, shall I add something else on just to kind of like incriminate myself some more and actually have a laugh just watching this story unfold? Because I know the truth. Yeah. And I find it bizarre. But first of all, can I just quickly say, I really like your shirt.
Do you? Oh, thank you.
I think it's really, really nice. I'd like to slip into that.
I don't know how to take that. Anyway, moving on to the show very quickly. Oh, you bashed the camera then, love.
Apologies.
Stop that. You've just gone flustered now. What was I going to say?
I just meant I'd like to.
I was talking about rumours and how positive people speak about Howard Cox behind his back. To be honest, I wouldn't speak bad to his face. We've seen the size of the guy. If he hit you, you'd know about it.
But he might be hitting you later.
I always say this to people: whatever they say about you, don't worry, it's never as bad as the truth. Right. And on that note, we had this week I was listening to one of the podcasts. I think it was Fearless, actually, Advance UK's podcast with our wonderful leader Ben Habib, and he had Dan Wootton on, and he had this to say about our guest tonight. So I thought we would play this first before we brought him on.
Robinson supporters as that lot, when Howard Cox, who I know is now a proud Advance UK board member, college member, brilliant man, absolutely brilliant man, full of morals, wants what's best for this country, was totally loyal to Reform UK, was their London mayoral candidate, has actually achieved something in Fair Fuel UK to stop the increase of fuel duty for 15 years. I mean, how many politicians in this country can say they've actually achieved something? They've worked with whatever party happens to be in power to achieve something. And his personal support for Tommy Robinson saw him brutally thrust out of that party. So, and actually, I think, and I might suggest it to Tommy, Howard should be given more credit. He should be given a space on that stage at the next Unite the Kingdom rally, because actually he was so brave.
He's brave, He's put his stake in the ground and he's held firm.
And he's lost a lot. He's lost a lot for Fair Fuel UK because the mainstream media will not platform him now, will not have him on. And it all comes back to Tommy Robinson. Anyway, my point being, in some ways, it was actually worse for Reform UK because, of course, everyone at the Unite the Kingdom rally hates Slippery Starmer.
Well, there we go. Praise from Dan Wootton. You couldn't get bigger praise than that. Well, actually, praising comes from you, I think, means more to Howard, isn't it? Let's bring him on, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest tonight, the wonderful Howard Cox. Hey, good evening,
Hello,
Howard.
and good evening.
Sorry, you probably see I'm just actually trying to put some makeup on to cover the red of the embarrassment. Thank you so much, and I hope I can live up to anywhere 10% of Basil the Great and Craig you've had. I've watched both those, and they were great shows, guys. And it was a great interaction, and loads of people said the same thing. So you're going up and up and up. So keep it going.
Well, thank you, Howard. Well, we appreciate it. It's only because we got great guests on like you, that's why, and others we had on as well. And we got some more guests coming up next week, actually. I just want to mention, if I can, we got the treasurer for Advance UK coming on Wednesday night, Edward. Tomorrow. And Dave Atherton will be joining us as well tomorrow. Yeah. A little bit of Dave Atherton, although we got to kick the reform out of him, haven't we?
Yeah.
We got to kick the reform out of him. That's an ongoing joke, right? But anyway, we love Dave. And then on Sunday, we've got a very special on next Sunday, because we have got...
This Sunday coming in. Yeah,
this Sunday, Andrew Sibley, who goes under the name of Joac, which is investigative work. He's done some investigative work into the sexual scandals and things that took place in Caldy Island. Back in the early 1900s, early 20s, is it? I can't remember what it was. My dates are terrible. But basically, a monk there was abusing young men, boys and girls, and he got away with it. And he died without facing justice. And some of those survivors have started to speak out. In fact, BBC, I think it was at the time, the Welsh government refused to look into it and do a public inquiry. They just ignored it completely. And so he'll be exposing some of that on Sunday. So that's going to be very, very powerful. Anyway, let's get on with tonight's show with our guest, the wonderful Howard Cox from Fairfield. And of course, college member for Advance UK, the only party in town that's offering something completely different from all the rest, because the rest are just snakes. Isn't that right, Howard?
Couldn't have said it any better.
I'm surprised you understood him. That was really fun.
I know. So, Howard, tell us then, we've been watching you on socials. We've seen you with Sarah White there and with the team in Amber Valley. What have you been up to? Because a lot's been going on. Tell us about Amber Valley and what's been happening in the world of Howard this week.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's, the most important thing is there is actually a couple of council elections. There's a borough and a district council election up in on the cusp of Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, in Amber Valley and Horsley and Langley Mill. And really, I've known Alex Stevenson, who's the candidate for Advance UK. He was a loyal member, another loyal member of Reform, who was thrown out under the bus, along with many, many others. In fact, Nigel have to buy a fleet of buses now. There are so many people he's putting under there. But really, you know, Alex is an incredible guy. You know Alex, I think, pretty well. And you know, I went up there and he asked me, please come up here. And we made some videos for him to you know, promote him. It may seem, you know, the local council elections not much, but this guy is really good on local issues. And he told me lots of stories about how he made a difference when he was a councillor there, and when unfortunately Reform took over, you know, the situation, how things. And one of them is about dog poo on the streets, when we got up there, I mean, it's terrible. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Sarah White, the former pink lady, she's no longer a pink lady. I'm afraid she's had a bit of a fallout there, but I'll let her tell her story. You should get her on and talk to Sarah. She'd love to come on. And she and I went on one side of the road, and Andrew Bridge and Alex from the other side of the road, plus about 25 other people, all ex-reformers, all still trying to leave reform, but they can't seem to remove their membership. But we went up there. But in the 6 miles, I must have counted 30 lumps of dog poo on the pavements and things. And I said to Alex, is this typical of this area? He said it wasn't like it because we put bins on corners of roads, but since we've left and come out of in the local politics, the bins have been removed. It doesn't excuse the idiots who throw, and you get people that actually put them into dog poo bags and just leave them on the floor. What's that all about? But anyway, to cut a long story short, it was a great thing. As I say, I something like 410 mile round trip up, getting up at 3 a.m. and coming back late at night last night. But it was great because Sarah was with me, and that particular clip you played with the incredible nice words from Dan Wootton, she clipped it in the car and put it on Twitter or X or what do you want to call it. But once we got up there, Alex put us to action, and we all went round various roads, and I think I delivered personally to about 400 houses, and it reminded me of the days I was standing as London Mayor. And but this lot up there, I'm going to assure you that Advance UK is getting a great reputation. I only saw one poster for reform in a window, which I expected to see more up there. Didn't see a Tory in sight. I think they're hiding, and certainly Labour are nowhere to be seen. So, it was good people up there, very good people, and this whole attitude, this whole number. The ticker tape on Reform site about the number of members is a complete fabrication. There's about 270 or 80,000 they say members. But yesterday, while we were having a cup of tea and a bar of chocolate and a shortbread biscuit, we had 30 people in that room. All former have left Reform and now with Advance UK. So go figure.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, when I was going around handing out some leaflets to all the houses locally to me for Advance UK, I have to say I ended up with cuts and bruises, and I was terrified of dogs because you could hear them, and it was like, oh my gosh, I wish people would change their letterboxes.
And you probably saw my little cameo with Sarah complaining about the letterboxes, because now they've got these brooms and brushes across them, haven't they? You put your hand there in, and the leaflets are all a bit floppy, so you've got to fold them in such a way that they do get through. There is one particular, it said no canvassers, no I think canvassers, no salesmen, etc., etc. We frowned upon them. This was a detached house. And it did say at the top, there is a dog in here, so don't put your finger through the letterbox. I had to try. And lo and behold, there was this mutt on the other side. Honestly, wanted to feast on my flesh. So,
my God!
But the dog did take the leaflet, which was quite nice.
All the joys of campaigning, and we've got a lot more of that to do as well, of course, because the national and the ground game starts. Well, it's already started around the country, isn't it, with the appointment of regional directors, and we've been up and down Wales. And one of the things that we have found meeting members and recruiting new people to the party across Wales is their enthusiasm. And some of those have not come from Reform. Some of them are in their 60s who've never joined a political party in their life. And they're saying, we see something completely different here. That's why we've joined Advance UK. And I think that's testament to how different Advance UK is to all the other political parties out there, Howard, isn't it?
Absolutely right. And please, this is an offer now. When you want me to go around a few doors in your place or wherever you want me to go, call me. I'll be there like a shot.
You're amazing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, we are planning on having an event. We have had a few cancelled, as we know, but we are planning another event sometime very soon, towards St. David's Day, hopefully, Rogue, aren't we?
So we've decided that St. David's Day would be an apt day to have everybody together and to actually have an event. And obviously, you'll be coming to speak. Absolutely. So you don't need to be pushing things to the door.
Oh, well, that'd be quite nice. I'll still bring a tray of leeks, though. I'll be there.
Just on that, we're going to talk a little bit about tonight, Howard, because it's the topic of the week about what's happening in Davos. Because, of course, we know all the champagne socialists, the elites, the who's who of the political world, the celebrities, the superstars, the virtue signalers, you name it. They're all there sipping Bollingers and eating caviar and staying in posh chalets in the Alpine Alps, as it were, enjoying it, or having been flown in on private jets while preaching to the rest of us about climate emissions and everything else, and
the hypocrisy,
and the cost of living and how hard it is and how we need to, save the economy whilst they're spending thousands of pounds on posh food. I mean, you can't get your breath. The pure hypocrisy of what goes on in Davos, it really stinks, doesn't it?
Well, here we go again. It's come around again, the annual sort of shindig, and I just find it astonishing. I'm delighted that a certain Donald Trump's going along, because I see that a certain Prime Minister of the UK has decided not to go because he's scared stiff to face him, and he's replaced himself with David Beckham. He's gone. FS. What the hell's that all about? I mean, why is he going? It's ludicrous. And I see that the Prime Minister of Denmark and also the President of Iran aren't going as well. So it's all, the politics just flows from this, doesn't it? And good old Trump's going to go over there, and I hope he's going to stand up there and talk about about free speech, Greenland, and the Chagos. Those three things. I'm looking forward to hear what he's going to say about that. But I just, Starmer, you said, didn't he, when he was asked the question, where would you rather be, Westminster or Davos? And he said Davos, didn't he?
Yeah.
So what's happened now? Why is he not there?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, I've just been listening to some of the stuff coming in, some of the footage from Davos, and there's some independent journalists out there from Vox Pops who we know as well. They've covered some of our events in Manchester very well. And I listened to some of them. So one of them was to do with the, I think she's head of the bank, European Bank, the World Bank, where it was, and she was pursued. And she wanted to limit Europeans, those who carry in cash, with £1,000, no more than £1,000 in cash are you allowed to carry. And I've got the interview here actually when he's chasing her up the street. Let me just listen to this. We'll be right back, Howard, for your thoughts on it.
Christine Lagarde, can I ask why you want to make paying for things in cash over €1,000 illegal?
I'm not giving any interview, but thank you for trying.
No, I don't necessarily want an interview, but it's the people of Europe want to know why they can't use cash to a certain extent, because some would suggest that's about a control and the state taking charge over what people can and can't spend their money on. Surely that's a fair question.
Banknotes will always be available. We're working on this, and we will continue working on making sure that that's available for people.
But do you still believe?
End of the story.
One last question: Do you still believe that people shouldn't be able to spend over £1,000 in cash for an individual purchase? It's a simple yes or no, Miss Lagarde. Christine, the WEF theme this year is Spirit of Dialogue. You're touching me, actually. It's a public path, and you're walking to me. The theme this year is a Spirit of Dialogue. You have previously been convicted of criminal charges, criminal negligence, for spending over €400 million of taxpayers' money. Why can't you answer a simple question? One last time, can people spend over €1,000 in cash for an individual purchase, yes or no?
You are convicted criminal.
So that was Christine Lagarde, head of the European Central Bank. If you like this sort of journalism, I've got to rush off now because Justin Trudeau's about to come out. Please head over to vpdavos.com and help where you can. Like, share the work. If you can donate with our cause, that'll be most grateful. Gotta go, Justin.
There we go.
Callum smiles. Well, thank you for that, Callum, for allowing us to use it. And
I mean, they're just crooks, Howard, aren't they? I mean, it's literally, the figures are unthinkable. And to think they want to, the whole thing is about control. It's global control, isn't it? That's exactly what this is about, isn't it?
Well, the disappointment for that is that, she's created a policy or what we're hearing that she might put this policy in action. You can't carry more than €1,000 with you, basically. And then she doesn't defend her policy. She just runs away from it. She can't handle it. That to me, that just stinks, and it proves just how wrong they are. And then I hear at the end there, Justin Trudeau's there. What the hell's he doing there now? I thought he'd gone. I thought we got rid of him. Mark Carney was the man. Anyway, going back to that, it's great. I love to see the independents working now. They thank heavens it's grown mad. It's as we know, YouTube is now more people go to YouTube for their news and information than they do for BBC News now. So those are the sorts of things that are happening now, which are good. And again, you said they're crooks. I go much stronger. I think they are really charlatans and criminals. They are running our lives, and we've got to get rid of these people. And the only way we can get is to get a government that's truly British, and believes in British culture and run by Ben Habib. And Ben Habib would not stand for that. And I don't know if Ben would want to go over there, but I think it'd be good if we all went over there in mass and take them on.
Yeah,
it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I got a confession, but I did say to you, I would be tempted.
You did? And I just rolled my eyes.
But I'm a man of principle, and I would say no. I mean, I'd rather go when it's not a conference paid for by the taxpayers. If you're going to go there, pay as a holiday with your family, it's different, I suppose. But the cost there is so expensive. I mean, I couldn't afford. I mean, Barry Island is as far as I go. Puthcall. I mean, that's enough for me. That's all I can afford to go at the moment. But anyway. Yeah, not only was he there, but Ed Miliband's brother was there. We got a clip of him on the show in a few moments. Justin Trudeau was actually interviewed by Callum as well. He tried to get hold of him, and he asked him about the mandatory vaccines and everything else, and he just poo-pooed him away, as he does, Justin Trudeau. I mean, the guy's an embarrassment. And there's just so much hypocrisy when you think about it. And I know that Trump is going over there, but one of the other hypocrisies, of course, is Farage is going over there.
Yep.
I've been slated Davos for years. I've been said, there's no need to attend because he's become part of the uniparties now, part of the mainstream. Of course, he has to fit in, doesn't he? So he has to fit in with all the big boys of the European Union and the globe, if you like, and he's part of the elites now. And he got caught out a few times, actually, when he's been asked these questions, because he's taken donations allegedly from people from the WEF as well. So I wonder if he's out there looking for more donations, Howard. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. He's going out there to pick up some cash. It's probably more than €1,000, I would have thought. But but he's flip-flopping again. This is the sort of thing. He absolutely slated Davos. He took it apart. I've sat with him over a few beers years and years ago about the whole globalist thing, and that's one reason I joined Reform, because those are the reasons why so many of us, because his values, which are totally and utterly ingrained into Advance UK, he's totally walked away from them for personal gain, personal celebrity. Can you still see me? My screen's gone. Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Yeah. Go on.
And Nigel, I mean, I just don't really want to talk too much about him. The disappointment for all of it. I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a bit like I'm bombarded today with people asking about Rupert Lowe. And I think we should just let that go, let it drop, and focus on Advance UK, which is what Rogue said. We shouldn't be I remember you saying, I think last time I was on, let's talk about our policies. Let's talk about where we're going, and all this, because all these other people are going to disappear by the wayside. I promise you that.
Yeah. I think on those policies, well, just let our viewers know, on February the 7th, if you haven't got your tickets, we've got 2 policies being announced. They're kind of extracts from the policies on 7th of February in London near Buckingham Palace. Nice posh part of the world. And we'll be there, Rogue, won't we?
We will.
Looking forward to seeing people there, friends as well. And so you can get your tickets. If you remember, you should have had an email with a link to Eventbrite, and you've got to get your tickets. It's a members-only event where Ben will be talking about, and other speakers, about immigration and culture, 2 key issues, massive issues we're facing our country right now, because these are the big questions. And as Howard's been saying there, Rogue, we've had loads of people ask us about Rupert Lowe, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of sat there thinking, so when is this big announcement? When is he going to birth this baby? And nothing's come out with him, is it?
No, well, at the end of the day, I always have this saying, Howard, head down and crack on. I mean, whatever else is doing, all we can do is do what we're doing. And we've got a lot of time, respect for people like Rupert Lowe, and, hopefully he'll become part of Advance UK. That would be a wonderful thing. But if he doesn't change what we're doing. That changes nothing at all.
That's really important, isn't it? To remember, we are in our lane, we are doing what we're doing. And I know that Ben actually said, look, sort of this was kind of based around Rupert in the very beginning, and this is how it was to look, it was to reflect him. And, that's all well and good, but he hasn't come across yet. So we've had to carry on, and we're going to still have to carry on whether he is or he isn't, because whatever we have is rooted in truth, in, our policies, what, are going to be coming out, and also just what our foundation is. And it's just so important to remember that.
But I think Farage is too busy picking up Conservative members, isn't he? He's fishing from their pond, isn't he? I mean, in fact, Robert Jenrick, I love the fact he's taking Jenrick on when Farage on record called him a complete fraud. He opened up the asylum hotels in this country, which saw mass immigration explode. And also, I got a clip here on the show, our viewers, of what Robert Jenrick thought about Nigel Farage not too long before he accepted him into the party.
Nigel Farage can't even run a five-a-side team, so he's not going to be able to run a country. They're not a serious party. We may have sympathy with some of the things that they say. We may understand why millions of our fellow countrymen and women have gone to Reform. but they are not.
Do you know what I find funny about that? He says Farage couldn't run a football team. Well, he's actually got his own football shirt now for 300 quid.
With that signature on the back.
I mean, you couldn't write it. And there's so many defections, Howard. I mean, they're just becoming the Conservatives, mate. And we know what that brought us, 14 years of failure, didn't it?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'll talk, with Nigel, he actually, as did Zia Youssef, said only a year ago, we would not take any failed Tories. The Tories, we're not going to do that. Now they've got, I don't know how many MPs they've got now that have moved over. I think it's another 3, isn't it, or something? I can't remember now on top of it. But, the hypocrisy, going back to what Nigel Farage about Davos, he just, whatever suits his cause. And he seeks headline, he seeks celebrity, and he seeks cash. Those 3 things. He has no political philosophy or values. You hear Ben saying exactly that in talking about it. And, what they did to Rupert Lowe, going back to him, the way they treat him, calling about dementia, what they say to Tommy Robinson, that he beats up women, all those sorts of things. This is the way they operate. And at the moment, because Labour and the Tories are so bad, are really bad, any party, you could put a donkey out there with a pink rosette on. I don't know if it's a pink party or whatever. That would get more people interested in that party than the Tories and Labour. And going back to Rupert, I actually spoke to Rupert contacted him on Sunday, and I actually sent him a WhatsApp, which was about a bit of an essay about the benefits of being with Advance UK and the negatives of not being with Advance UK. And he came back with, he was immediately he came back, because I think you may know, he was the only one that turned up on my election day, the ballot box on the day of my mayoral election. No other reform leaders turned up, but and this is before he became an MP. But Rupert came along, and he just couldn't believe what happened. I think he saw the writing on the wall there, but he still said Nigel will be coming soon to take over the party, and he really believed in Nigel, like we did. We all believed in those days. And Rupert sent me back a simple thing that say, I won't say that some of the private stuff, but the boss me said no decision has been made yet. And I think Sarah White also sent him some messages as well along the same lines, along as many other people. I don't think he's unaware of the fact that Advance UK would be a good fit for him. But if he doesn't, fine. It'd be a shame if he brings up another political party, because we don't want about a 10th right party. It will play into other people's hands, and we don't want that. So maybe it'll work in a different way. But I'm optimistic that eventually there will be some sort of merger. And I love the way Ben's handling this, to be honest. He's not going out begging, oh, please come over, Rupert, we need you. He said, we'd love to have you. Here's the official invitation. We're on the same planet. We're on the same page regarding policies and things. And you've done a cracking job, Rupert. He is the best MP in Westminster. And so that's great news. And but Nigel Farage and what he's doing with the Tory, these Tory idiots. I mean, I'm quite close to quite a lot of Tory backbenchers still because of Fairfield UK. And I'm in the middle of setting up another all-party parliamentary group chaired by Lewis Cocking. And he's a great MP. He's only 34 years age, but he's got a lot of interest in his constituency with trucks and cars and motorists, etc., in his particular area. So he's very interested in working with me. And, in fact, quite a few people want to work with me because of our success of the campaign for 15 years. But most of the Tories are back. I say to them, well, when are you going over to Nigel? And, they actually do. I mean, Kemi Badenoch is actually starting to show some spine in terms of sacking Jenrick, for example, before he could act. That really wrong-footed him. And we watched how that played out in the day and how he was rolled out by Nigel Farage. It was a pantomime, wasn't it, in the end? And so in answer to all your questions, etc., I don't give a damn about Nigel Farage, and I do care about Rupert. I want him over, but if he doesn't, we will, as you quite really say, we're in the fast lane now, and we're going places.
Absolutely. I think one of the things when they rolled him out and they had the first ever big meeting in Newark in Robert Jenrick's constituency, obviously they say they were all his constituents. Most of them were probably busting. Let's be honest. We've been to these rallies. I mean, we've spoken to some of them, Howard. We know what it's like. It's the hoo-ha and all that, and we've seen it all before, and I found it interesting because Farage, the video has been circulating. I'm not going to go too much on Farage tonight. I'm just going to finish on this. Is the video of him on GB News, Farage, this is the Farage show, by the way, for those watching, on GB News, where he literally states if anyone ever defects from any political party, this should automatically trigger a by-election. And that video's gone viral. Actually, I've got the video. I'm not going to show it tonight because I've shown it on the show on Sunday night, so I'm going to show that again. You're going back to hypocrisy then, because you've seen a lot of it in politics. One of the things that puts people off politicians and politics more than anything is the hypocrisy, because you've not come from a political background at all. Right? Well, I didn't either, but I've been involved in it a bit longer. But you just thought, why get involved in it?
Absolutely. I mean, you just watch it all as a bystander, and you know, just to watch them saying one thing and then doing another. There being no delivery, complete U-turns. You're just like, what's the actual point? But when it got to like recently, I felt I have to start actually doing something and being proactive, because if we all sit at home saying what's the point, then actually, you know, we're not fulfilling what we need to do within our country to ensure the betterment of it. And so I'm just sat here just going, right, this is it. This is my last shot in actually doing something. So it's my first shot and my last shot. So, and I want to make sure, you know, that my children and my grandchildren and their children, you know, have something where they can say, because I'm not called grandma, I'm called Mimsy. So,
No. You told them to call you Mimsy, though.
Yeah, because I don't want to be grandma.
No,
I'm way too young to be a grandma. I do not want to be called grandma. Dear. So they call me Mimsy, and I want them to say later on, my Mimsy, look at what she did. She helped.
I gotta be honest, you don't look like a grandmother.
Thanks very much.
You don't.
I don't feel like one, but I am.
You look great for 65. You look really good. Yeah, I gotta say, you look absolutely outstanding.
I'm looking as good as Howard.
I know. Howard's the silver fox of Advance UK. You know that, don't you? Stop there. You mentioned about Trump going over to Davos, which is obviously, you know what he's like. He's going to give him a right toasting. I mean, I don't know if people saw the video of him when he was asked about Macron complaining about the tariff.
Oh, my word.
And he just said, tell Macron basically to do one, and otherwise I'll put the tariffs by 200% if he doesn't shut his mouth. And he'll be gone this time next year anyway. He's not even going to be in office. I mean, just typical Trump style.
He doesn't care, does he?
No, I got the
video. He says it as it is.
I got the video. Just listen to this. Get the video here.
Did he say that? Well, nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, you know, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join.
I love it.
He's brilliant.
I love that, man. I really do. You imagine if we'd had Biden still there. And
Imagine that.
Sleepy Joe there, but okay. I don't totally agree with his Greenland thing, but he's all he needs to do is build a ginormous, even bigger military base there. That's all he needs to do. Greenland will be happy with that, and go to Denmark and work with them to do it. So, but you know that brings us on to Chagos, doesn't it? I mean, what we're doing, we're giving away things like Gibraltar, and you know, and the good old Maggie will be turning the grave if the Falklands.
Can you imagine? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thought of giving me the Chagos Islands, if the Chagon people should be their decision. I mean, it's actually what Keir Starmer was doing in this Labour government is just shocking. I mean, one of the White House's press officers, I can't think of a name. We got a video over here speaking about Trump and about tariffs. I can't think of a name, Howard. I'm going to show you this clip, guys.
Urging the use of tariffs to ensure that countries around the world are not punishing their citizens in this way. And at the same time, the president is, while he's leveraging the United States to safeguard our interests abroad, he's also making sure that freedom of speech remains here in the United States of America. So I don't have any additional actions to preview for you today, but I can tell you this is a priority for the administration, and the president is unafraid to use the economic might, the military might of the United States of America to protect free speech around the world.
Well, there we go. I mean, that says it all when she says the president of the States will use all means necessary, even economical tactics, to protect
our
free speech. I mean, that is one of our key pillars, Howard, isn't it, at Advance UK?
Well, it's the biggest one for me, to be honest. I know equality under the law and democracy and our borders, etc., are very, very high on the list. But freedom of speech. I mean, when you heard the pathological liar, the number 10, you know, when he's sitting in the Oval Office saying to JD Vance, you know, we are proud of freedom of speech. We've got a long history of it, and it will continue that way. And he did the same at Chequers didn't he, with Trump when he came over for his state visit. exactly the same thing. He lied through his teeth, saying we are the bastion of free speech. What a load of, I just could not believe what I was hearing. And to be honest, around about that time when Trump had his state visit, I was on the verge of actually backing off a little bit of politics myself, and because I'm struggling to raise funds for Fairfield UK at the moment because of my support for net zero. I'm afraid you cannot believe some of the problems I'm having there, but that's another story. But I was thinking of, I think I'll back off it about politics. But when I saw him do that about freedom of speech and the Lucy Connolly thing, the whole thing with Tommy Robinson, what's his name? Is it Peter, whatever his name, who killed himself? Lynch, wasn't it? Lynch, that's it. Those sorts of things, just right. I'm coming back into this because we need to do this. And I'm actually writing an article. I've just finished it for Emma Dunwall's new channel. I don't know if you know about that lot. I think Little Bob, or what his name is, who works with her, and various other people. Is it Little Bob? He's a great guy.
Young Bob. Young Bob.
Little Bob, Young Bob, same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm writing an article. I think they're having on Marble Arch this Sunday a big event there, and they're going to hand out a new magazine. And I've written an article. Mine is all about freedom of speech, and my first line says, I actually, put my address in it for the police to come round and arrest me for what I say in it. I mustn't joke because that could happen.
I know.
Absolutely. Well, we're living in, I'm saying 2025 here, and I keep doing that.
You keep on saying 2025. It's like, no, we're actually in 2026 now.
Does anybody else actually still forget we're out to 2025? Is it just me? I just have this amnesia. I think, is it amnesia? Is that the right word? Or is it dementia?
Just dementia.
I can't remember which one it is, to be honest with you. I just put it down to being
the irony.
I just put it down to being Welsh. That's what I do anyway. By the way, folks, if you want to support what we're doing here at the Richie Rogue Show, scan that QR code in the corner and you can leave a small donation to help to support what we do. We'd really appreciate any donation. But we do want to get to talking about Fairfield, don't we, Rob?
Absolutely. I mean, I know we touched on it sort of the last time that we had a conversation, but we just want to know what we can do and what our viewers can do to help support you, because we need to do more than just give you a bit of money. Like, what else can we do, to support you and push you forward? Because this has been like a 15-year venture for you. So what can we really do?
Well, it's a difficult one. You see, I've got 1.7 million sign-ups to the campaign. These are just supporters who, since 2010, have signed up to back basically a lower cost of filling up your car and or your truck or your commercial vehicle, and basically by attacking fuel duty. Because fuel duty was planning, it would have been 50 to 60 pence more per litre if it hadn't been for the campaign. But what people can do is, I always say, please sign up and support. It's totally free, and I will be sending out things for what you can do for us from there, which is contacting your MP or the minister through various advocacy campaigns I do. But the most important for me at the moment is because I need evidence to prove. I've been doing it every year, but I'm struggling to raise funds for it, for these top independent economists from big firms to actually prove that by cutting fuel duty is good for the economy, good for inflation, good for jobs, good for reinvestment, business investment, etc. All those sorts of things that costs money, and it's not cheap. And I'm in the process. I'm talking to various people at the moment. You'd expect them to be supporting it because they actually need diesel and petrol. I mean, the companies that have fleets of vehicles. Particularly things like DBT and the internet sort of economy, which thrives on vehicles. And you can't have an electric vehicle that's to stop and charge for 3 or 4 hours, etc. And when you actually fill it up, it impacts on the actual fuel efficiency with an electric vehicle. And you'd think the trucking firms will be jumping and all over me now. They used to be for the first 11, 12 years of my campaigning. I had the RHA and FTA, but because I don't support net zero, which is a load of old BS, I'm afraid, from my point of view, the most things people can do, please sign up and I'll keep you informed, because in autumn of this year, fuel duty is going to go up by 5 pence. With the VAT on top of fuel duty, it'll go up by 6. The average family car is going to go up by about 55 litres, multiplied by 6, you have £3 or £4 a litre. And you've got a truck, a big articulated truck, which 44-ton truck, it goes up by £300 a tank full. that sort of thing we're talking about. And where's that going to go? It's going to go on to the cost of goods and inflation.
Yeah. Do you know, I need to ask a really silly question, okay? Because I don't really understand it. And I did ask you earlier and you didn't understand it. So maybe you can help us. You know, if you go to like petrol stations and you could be like a mile down the road and the price difference is just so ridiculous. It's like, how? Like my dad used to travel half an hour just to go and get the cheapest fuel, right? I need to understand, why is there such a difference in price fuels?
Well, that's the $64 million question, isn't it? What it is the fuel supply chain is unregulated. You can do what you want. And frankly, the problem we do have is that something like half of the fuel stations are owned by supermarkets. The other half are by private companies and the big franchises like Shell, Texaco, all that lot, BP. And then there's the private firms, which are run by usually, one guy, and he has to license, he has a deal with these petrol companies. And those deals, the fuel supply chain, are controlled by the wholesale prices. And the wholesale price is basically, but supposedly based on the price of oil and the exchange rate, because oil is actually priced in dollars. And so you get that situation. You understand a bit of fluctuation, and I want all fuel retailers. Don't blame the fuel retailers. All the viewers here, don't blame the fuel retailers. They have tight contracts with their suppliers of petrol, and they're not allowed to sell anyone else's. You think you could have a BP pump or a Texaco pump? That is not a free market in this. It doesn't happen. And the fuel supply chain, I managed to work with Claire Coutinho when she's Minister of Energy, and guess what? Back in 2016, I sat down with Robert Jenrick when he was Exchequer Secretary. And I wrote he asked me to do this. I wrote a 30-page report on a thing called Pump Watch, which fundamentally, because it's not just a tax. Currently, the tax at the moment is about 56% of what goes into your pump goes to the government. And that immoral tax of VAT on fuel duty as well. Double, which really is, I just don't. That's another thing which, when we have our transport policy, I'm going to try and convince the college people to actually, we must stop this double taxation because it's wrong. You're already paying a tax. But anyway, the fuel supply chain, they are totally and utterly roughshod. They are all cowboys. They do what they want. And when oil prices go up, pump prices go up like a rocket. And you've heard this other thing, and they come down with a feather when the oil prices come down, and not by the same amount they went up. And that's totally uncontrolled. The idea of Pump Watch was for them to report daily to a central independent database of what they're charging related to the day's oil price, etc. And okay, there's this whole thing. They say, well, we bought the petrol, 2 weeks ago. We've got to sell what we paid for it then. There is something in that. But when you get, as you quite rightly, Rogue, your father, and I can see my mother-in-law, I'm afraid, rest in peace now, but she used to go and drive off. She's used enough petrol to get there, which she could have saved by getting these sort of things. And of course, we should be pleased also to some extent. In the old days, when the supermarkets, they were always the bastion of cheaper fuel prices. But unfortunately, because they've been taken over by private venture capitalists, they're no longer sold as loss leaders. They used to get 50 litres, 5p cheaper per litre or something if you spend £100 in their shop or something like that. That doesn't happen so much now. So what we are governed totally, and we're honestly held by the short and proverbial curlies. Our wallets are, attacked by the fuel supply chain, unregulated as they are. And what's his name? The Starmer promised, and Rachel Reeves promised they would introduce Pump Watch, but they haven't done it. And they won't do it at the moment. And of course, the taxation side of things. This is an essential resource, fuel. And it's vital. And this is something that you may not be aware of, but you can get in Venezuela, talk about that, which is one of the most, a litre of diesel is a penny per litre.
That's mental. That's mental. I didn't know that. Wow.
And oh yes, and my darling wife Jenny.
Is that Jen? We love you, Jen.
Oh, she's saying hello. I forgot to say, there is a new thing that's I've launched. I've done a soft launch of it, but I'm going to do a press release in the next couple of weeks. If you go to fairfueluk.com, on the front page, there's a new app, a web page.
I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, go to it, and you can type in your
Get on
fuel.
your phone, folks. Get on your phone. Get
Let's
on
all
there
get
now.
on it now. Come on.
Let's get people on there now.
So
Yeah, you can type in your type of fuel, diesel or petrol, the miles per gallon of your vehicle, okay, and how many miles you do annually. And then you can see how much Fairfield UK has saved you since 2010. And for let me tell you this, for an articulated truck that does
that's where you need to go to check it out. Get on there and check it out.
right, so sign up to support. That's what I'm doing right now.
Well, we'll send you a tender online straight away now. So we encourage all our viewers to send this absolutely amazing guy. It's not to him personally, it's to his campaign. He's been for 15 years tirelessly, sacrificially. And, you know, we need to show support because he's fighting on behalf of us, the citizens, against the government's massive taxation system, which we know is completely out of hand.
Yeah.
And they know they're robbing us blind. Talk about, you know, Dick Turpin, whatever you want to call him. You know, the government is that incarnate. So please send up the support, and you can send. We're going to send a 10 and now. Or Rogue, I've got your bank details on you. Shall I use that? Is that okay?
Do it. No, do it twice. You're worth it.
I would send this. So please do that, folks. Simple as just do that. Send a code and send Howard a 10 to support the Fairfield campaign. Please make sure you do that. It'd be fantastic. Howard, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, he hadn't finished because it was about his app. So please let him continue.
I'm interested in more. Go on, Howard.
Well, just if you one of the things if you have a 44-ton truck, okay, it does about 6 to 7 miles to the gallon, right? And it does 100,000 miles a year. I've saved it since 2010, £500,000 for that one truck in taxation. Wow. Now that £500,000 means that they could buy 2 trucks, cleaner trucks, etc. They can invest in staff, training, all those sorts of things, and that £500,000 hasn't been passed on to what they're carrying in terms of actually the consumer. And you made the point, I've helped people, but the most important thing is I'm still trying to convince people. And when MPs are on the back bench, they get this, that by lower cost of transport, it actually helps the economy. And the economy, they want growth. So what do? They put taxes up. What's that going to do? Stop people spending. So what I'm trying to do is put more money back into consumers' pockets and more money into small business, especially SMEs and, you know, the traders like, you know, plumbers, electricians, you know, these sorts of people who've been hit by, you know, obviously the ULEZs and the congestion charges, the parking charges. We can go on forever. But so please go on there and have a play around with that calculation, that web app. I think you might be surprised because I haven't really shouted from the rooftops about this. But I am going to do it. I'm going to do it in 2 weeks' time with a press release. But it's whether the mainstream media will cover me anymore.
Well, we are the media now, Howard. Remember that. So you're welcome to this show anytime. You know, you're more than welcome. I ask a question, but I mean, I'm just an ordinary Joe Blogs, right? So I remember them telling us we're going to move from petrol to diesel because diesel will be cheaper, right? You remember they sold us that so many years ago, right? So everybody went out and went mad and thought, yeah, let's all get a diesel car. So everyone got a diesel car. Lo and behold, the price of diesel shot up, right? Then obviously they introduced I think it was that gas tanks in the back of your car. I can't remember what that was. There was some kind of gas thing. But then it was electric cars. Now I'm reading, if I'm right here, correct me if I'm wrong, that in London, even to have an electric car, they sold you the benefits when they first came out because they're cleaner, apparently. But now they're charging people per mile. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, that's the long-term plan. It's going to be, you know, pay per miles coming in. And to some extent, I mean, to repair the potholes and everything about the roads and everything, we've got to pay for something. Of course we should, and it's quite right we should do that. And the EV sort of fantasy, they were promised, and you made the point just now because they're cleaner. They're cleaner to run, but not to make. From cradle to grave, you know, you just think of those poor slave labor kids in Africa and South America who are digging out on their hands and knees, that sort of thing. And in terms of actually the lithium that they get out, it uses something to dig that ore. They need something like 500, if I remember rightly, something like 500 million gallons of water to actually mine something like about 10 milligrams of lithium. You know, Paul Burgess would tell me something different to bless his cotton socks.
He'll ask you for the evidence. That's what Paul will do.
Exactly. But, you know, you made the point about diesel was always cheaper than petrol, as you quite rightly, around about the 2000. This was around this when Gordon Brown said, you know, with to various that scientist called Kelly, I think, of whatever his name was, they came on board and said you must do that. But they did it because diesel's less polluting. You know, the petrol was the problem. So they say, we've got to move over to diesel. Then we go the other way. Now, it depends on whether it's CO2 or nitrogen dioxide. Those are the sorts of things, nitrous oxide, those sorts of things. That's laughing gas, by the way. But from the point of view of all of these things, etc., we've been sold a pups for a long, long time. We can't get away from the fact that every government has used the driver, the car, as a cash cow. It's the easy way. It's the sixth largest income to the government. £50 billion a year comes from motorists. £1 billion a week. And and I did a calculation, which it was a back of a fag packet calculation based on some very good independent analysts, and one of them is in the Growth Commission, which is Liz Truss's lot, and which I'm quite close to. But we did some calculation. If we'd actually had the same level of fuel prices, in the UK as they had in Germany, Holland, and France, our GDP would be something like 3% bigger now, and that's 3%, not 0.3, 3% bigger, and those sorts of things. Now, and this is the other thing in Europe and virtually the rest of the world, diesel is still cheaper than petrol because they tax it less. Because diesel is the commercial heartbeat of every economy. It's as simple as that. And it's also cleaner. In the last 15 years, the haulage industry has halved its emissions. But we don't see that as a headline because they've gone to cleaner technology. And I've said, the 2030 ban that's coming up, it's only 3 or 4 years away. And we're not far off of the election, of course, at the same time, is that the sale of new diesel and petrol cars has been banned by this government. And I produced a report which costs, to be fair, with the Motorcycle Action Group and the Alliance of British Drivers, we all got together and put some cash in. It cost nearly £50,000, this report, but it proved that the actual cost of this 2030 ban, and get ready for this 2030 ban is 5 times more than the benefits.
Whoa! Wow, that is absurd.
Yeah, wow. And yet we're still going ahead. The good news is, Christine Lagarde is actually behind this a bit. We just saw her earlier, but Europe is actually getting rid of their 2035 ban. Bear in mind,
right?
And they're moving to 2040. And one of the things something like 40,000 emails have been sent by my supporters to Rachel Reeves, Heidi Alexander, who's used to Minister of Transport, Ed Millibot bollocks, and and Starmer, and also to I think some other people that are very important in the civil service. They've said, please, can we join? You love Europe, so why are we not following Europe in this particular thing? Yeah. We're staying 2030, and don't forget that particular target was delivered to us by Boris Johnson, and that's the sad thing.
I've just been told off by Lee. He just told me to get off my phone, but I'm actually trying to send you £25 right now.
That's
but
right.
I've gone onto PayPal. I've forgotten my password. I've now tried to do my password. Why don't you do Apple Pay?
You're dead right, but you don't need a PayPal account to pay.
Oh, right, there we are. Have to work
there's a line. Just pay by credit card. It says at the bottom underneath the PayPal. It says pay by card.
Do you honestly think she walks around with cards? She's like the queen. I'm not being funny. The woman doesn't carry cash or cards, mate. I mean, it's just all on the phone.
Just like, chop, it shall be paid.
Digital ID. We're going to go to a break in a few moments for our funny video. But before we do that, I just want to mention a couple of things, just if I can, Howard, and keeping you on. We've got a couple of things we want to get through. Don't forget, on Saturday, our very brand new, first was last Saturday, our very new breakfast. No, it's not breakfast show.
It's a brunch show.
It's a brunch show.
Saturday at 11.
No,
it's 10:30.
10:30 this
You want to do it earlier, don't you?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's because we're away and we're on business. So we want to make sure you tune in for that as well. So make sure you do. And it's going to be 10:30 Saturday morning, and it's kind of different because it's fun, innit? We kind of go through the newspapers.
I think we're fun all the time.
Do you? We're funny.
I think we're ridiculous, actually.
Plenty of energy and all that. Anyway, it's all that pop we're drinking apparently. Yeah. Anyway, what are you drinking tonight, love?
I'm actually drinking.
What is it?
Cherry sparkling water.
It's very nice.
It is quite delicious.
So we're going to cut to a break with our funny videos as we normally play. We're going to come straight back and talk with Howard because we want to talk after this intermission to you about Amelia.
Intermission. I'm sorry. What era are you from?
It's just going to be like commercial advert or whatever you want to call it. Well, this little break, we're going to show you a funny video. I think it's funny about the NHS and doctor surgeries. And straight after that, this is Rogue segment, right? So I'm got to say this. This next segment going into Howard It's all been planned by Rogue. So I ain't got a clue what she's going to say, what it's about. All I know is it's something to do with Amelia. Yeah.
Be afraid, be very afraid.
So you don't want to miss it, folks. So please stay tuned, because straight after this intermission.
Oh my God, just get on with it. What are you doing?
That's the wrong one. Those are reform candidates. For reform, that's what you get, folks. I didn't mean to play that one. I say that's the wrong one. Here it is, folks.
I said I wanted to listen to your heart.
Welcome to your local GP surgery.
If you arrive early, you will wait. If you arrive on time, you will wait. If you arrive late, well, you should have arrived earlier.
To book an appointment, please call at exactly 8 a.m. If you call at 8:01, you are wasting everyone's time. Alternatively, you can fill in our online form. It takes 45 minutes. At the end, we will ask you to call the surgery anyway. You'll never get bored of your doctor, because it's never the same one twice. Collect them all like Pokemon.
My wife has just gone into labour.
Is this her first child?
No, it's her husband.
Relax in our comfortable waiting room. The chairs are designed to worsen your condition, and every magazine is from a different decade.
Our receptionists are not doctors, but they will decide if you need or even get to see one.
Your appointment will be 5 minutes long. The clock starts the second you say hello.
Good news. It's either nothing or everything. We'll start with paracetamol.
Today, the doctor told me I was colourblind. Well, that came completely out of the purple.
Your medication is ready. It just needs approving by someone who is currently on annual leave.
If your symptoms persist, please book another appointment. Good luck with that.
Your local GP surgery. We're not here to fix everything, just enough to send you home.
Absolutely spot on. I loved it. Jenny's rolling in the aisles here.
I know, absolutely brilliant. I mean, we always like to play a funny on our shows as well. We always try to find those videos. So credit to, I think it was the Gazette guys for that. I think we always give them credit. Thank you for that, because we obviously screen record them from the podcast, from their YouTube channel as well. Do a great job. It's amazing what you do with AI now, isn't it? Because you can do all sorts with AI, can't you?
Yeah.
You can.
You can make you and Ben kiss, apparently, which is what you did.
I did. I haven't put it up for public thing, but I did it. I said you a grok thing of me and Ben kissing tonight. It was weird, really weird, really weird. Yeah, and obviously talking about AI, Amelia.
Yeah.
Who is Amelia?
What a massive cock up, shall we say? So basically, Amelia was part of a package which was by the Pathway. So there was a gentleman that was basically paid £10 million to put together the Pathway project to actually try and help children between 13 and 18, obviously adults at 18, to stop being indoctrinated into far right and extremism. So this Amelia came out, and then actually the right wing decided to go, this is brilliant, this is genius, she's actually doing right for the country. And so Amelia is now a bit of an icon where everybody's starting to love her for what she represents. So we've got a little video with her, so we'll put her up now.
I think this is the one put out by Prevent, isn't it? We'll watch this and we'll see then what the right wing is. So
it's
we'll be hijacking
just information to share with Charlie. She needed to inform Charlie about the failures of the UK government Prevent programme that had funded the Pathways game using British taxpayers' money, and all of the failures of the Prevent programme they probably don't want the average British person to know about. For example, Axel Rudakubana, who had knifed to death 3 little girls at a dance class in July 2024 in Southport, as well as horrifically injuring a further 10 people, had been referred to the Prevent programme on at least 3 occasions. However, as he told them, he didn't want to harm anyone, despite the fact he constantly talked about committing a genocide against the British people. They decided he posed no threat to anyone. Prevent could have prevented these deaths, but failed. In 2017, Salman Abedi, a jihadi, blew himself up at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, killing 22 innocent people, many of them children. He had been referred to Prevent multiple times by his school and community, but they failed to act. To make matters worse, a security guard found it suspicious that a bearded man with a huge rucksack was going into the concert, but thought he might be fired for being racist if he stopped and searched him, so waved him through. The misuse of the word racist has led to many tragedies such as this. Anyone suspicious should always be searched, regardless of skin colour or religion. In 2019, Usman Khan stabbed 2 people to death at Fishmongers Hall in London because he was let out of prison early to spread the message of de-radicalisation. Ironic, then, that he used this very early release scheme to commit a fatal terror attack. The attack was only prevented from being worse because a Chad named Darren Frost used a giant narwhal tusk to fend off Usman Khan until armed police arrived and blasted Khan to death. In 2021, a Somali called Ali Harbi Ali murdered the MP Sir David Ames for Islamist reasons. He had again been referred to Prevent, who had decided that he didn't actually pose a threat to anyone. Amelia pointed out that Prevent has a very strange habit of letting jihadis loose as long as they say they are not going to hurt anyone, while Prevent obsesses over the risk of the far right, despite the threat of far-right extremism being far lower than Islamist terror in the United Kingdom. Charlie thanked Amelia for all of the interesting information she had given him. Charlie decided to go home and research the Prevent programme further and read up about even more terror attacks they had failed to prevent. Charlie remembered that Prevent had told him in the Pathways game that doing your own research could radicalise you, and suddenly realised they must be trying to hide information from the public.
Rogue, you wanted to talk about this story, didn't you, about Prevent?
I do, because I used to work in schools, and I used to go in and basically counsel children, again, from the age of 13 to 16. And I would be there trying to actually protect the children, because they're in Birmingham, which is where I used to work, there were children who were actually being groomed. And I had to go and protect them. And I had to set up courses from connections to protect them, to look after them. And, you know, when you see this is being rolled out to protect and to prevent. But actually, you know, it's so far left wing that it's actually creating problems. So the people are not allowed to ask questions. And in them not being allowed to ask the questions about race, colour, you know, anything to do with that, what's happening is they're then saying that they're far right and they're being radicalised. It's actually unbelievable.
Yeah. Have you seen any of this Amelia character pop up on any of your social medias at all, Howard?
I haven't, actually. This is news to me. I mean, obviously, I've got a lot to say about Prevent, but the Amelia thing, no, I don't know much about.
Yeah. Well, let's go then.
That's the next question.
That's the next question, yeah.
What do you actually think of Prevent?
Well, it's what a failure it's been. The whole thing, from my point of view, I mean, whatever the name of the thing is, it's not doing its prevention job, and I'm so saddened by so many times you get it, and you know, the whole thing about the child rape gangs across the country. You know, Prevent should have been at the heart of that in terms of actually telling people, you know, what they're doing and how they're going to make sure a national inquiry is going to come on board. But the Prevent were the ones that are actually trying to stop having a national inquiry. So we were in a situation whereby we had this body that has been set up to protect us and to highlight the issues that actually where our family, our kids, our sisters, our mothers, you know, you name it, were there looking for this protection, and Prevent was there to be at the heart of it. Where were they? And I don't understand it. And your point, Rogue, about this whole thing, you know, what we're saying now, I mean, if this online you know, particular thing that's been brought together, you know, it was actually set up by Nadine Dorries, but this online protection, basically, you know, Starmer's baby of actually, you know, banning X and stopping kids under 16, you know, using social media and all those sorts of things comes to fruition. This, you and I here, the way we're talking now, we could end up in prison. I was talking to Paul Thorpe about it the other day, exactly the same thing. You know, some of the things we say, we are what I'm glad about it, we are part of the majority of this country who are worried sick. But a lot of us are too scared to actually say anything because we're scared of being prosecuted. And organisations like Prevent and our politicians are there to protect the majority and keep us safe, but not tell us what we can or can't say.
Exactly. So the game was developed by Shout Out UK, and they had obviously the funding from the Home Office. And basically, the Pathways was a visual game, so children could go on it and actually understand it. And it was for people on benefits to actually also understand it too. So the character Amelia, she's an antagonist feature in one of the game scenarios. She is depicted as a far-right anti-immigration activist with a goth or e-girl aesthetic, characterised by purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker. So, following its release, the character became an unintended viral meme. Some online communities embraced her and basically criticised and argued that actually she was standing for what actually we should all be standing up for.
Yeah, we got that video, haven't we?
So actually, as of mid-January, which is just now, it's actually the whole thing has been disabled. So if you imagine 10 million of the taxpayers' money has gone into something that has completely backfired, and now they've removed it. What could have that 10 million gone to?
Absolutely. Well, so much. I mean, fair food to start with.
Exactly.
That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? But we've actually got the video of I love this video. I'm going to post. It's going to go viral. Just watch this, folks.
I'm English, and I love England. I like having fish and chips and a pint at the local pub. I like Shakespeare and Dickens, Tolkien and Lewis, Harry Potter. I like pork sausage and dogs and fashion. Haram! Haram! But I don't like that. Brits are famously polite, but it mustn't mean we're willing to commit cultural suicide. Our institutions, the Church of England, the BBC, are a bunch of queers and nonces. How the bloody hell did we go from Churchill to you git? Sadiq Khan, the mayor? This is London, mate, not Afghanistan. Or Star Wars.
I'll get it back.
Our government won't even protect our schoolgirls from grooming gangs. Sod off, packy wankers! The police won't help. They're too busy confiscating garden tools and suppressing free speech.
That's right, miss. What have I done, officer? You've tweeted rudely, and you're under arrest.
Curry is fine, but we have several recipes already. We don't need 2 million Indians here to make it for us. There are 50 Islamic nations in the world. Muslims don't need to be on our island. They want to conquer it. The government says it must be this way. That doesn't make it right, does it, Robin Hood? These dragons that threaten our England won't go away unless brave knights rise up to slay them. Or did all the British bloodlines with any bollocks get killed off in World Wars I and II? Englishmen! It's your country, and it's being taken from you. Chav? Posh? Doesn't matter. We're already all in this together. I don't want this to be the future of the women of England, and I'm sure the women of Iran and Afghanistan didn't want it either. Your ancestors beat the Spanish Armada, Napoleon, and the Nazis. Surely you can handle welfare tourists. History will record what you do, or don't do. Get cracking, lads.
Well, make what you want of that.
See, she's become an international meme now because literally she was used as a tool against us, but we have managed to make her a tool for us.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of that, Howard, at all, no?
Yeah, I have actually seen it, but I must admit I misunderstood it, because when I see something like that, I feel embarrassed looking at a beautiful woman like that. I might be treated as a pervert or something like that.
It's AI, you're fine.
It's AI, it's a moot point. You're right.
It's a moot.
Okay. Yeah. It was all good stuff, wasn't it? It was lovely. I loved the bit, we've gone from Churchill to you, to shouting with stuff, because there are only two politicians I've ever hated, and we've got them now, and that's Khan and Starmer. And so yeah, I mean, so that's been cancelled now, is it?
Yeah, they've removed it again. So that is money that everybody's paid has just been thrown for what, and this is the frustrating part for us, because you just watch our money getting faffed around and squandered. It's just ridiculous.
Absolutely. And I want to go back to the Davos. I keep going back to Davos.
You do keep going back
because
to Davos.
It pisses me off, even though it does. Because
it's the money thing, isn't it?
It's the hypocrisy, right? I just cannot stand the hypocrisy of politicians telling us, ordinary people, how to live our lives. then telling us they want our digital ID, then telling us you can only travel so far, then tell us how much we can spend, then tell us what food we can eat, what food we can't eat. It comes a time that government's got to stop intervening in our everyday lives. Then they took away our civil liberties during lockdown, which is an absolute disgrace what they did to this country, and we're still paying the price for it. And all this is because of this man here, Tony Blair. And at Davos this week, guess who he's been advising on immigration and policy when it comes to open borders? Shabana Mahmood. Can you get your breath? Tony Blair, of course, the architect of all the failures we're seeing in this country right now, is in Davos, of course, as you'd expect him to be, with Shabana Mahmood there. You can see in the picture there. And he's giving her advice on immigration. Howard, it beggars belief, doesn't it, mate?
Well, and also, I'm a bit surprised that Trump's got him now on the Gaza committee. You know, I couldn't believe him doing that because, you know, he's a murderer. I mean, along with Alistair Campbell, you know what happened in the Middle East and Iraq. And there's lots of other things that have gone on that, you know, I have to say, it's a terrible thing, but I actually voted for it because I didn't want John Major. I've always been voted Tory. I'm a Thatcherite through and through. But Tony Blair, he came across as something that was good for business and good for small business. And I was running my own small business, and I thought, yeah, why not? And so Jenny and I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's take the plunge in that one. We didn't want John Major. I mean, that was the big issue for me. And I certainly didn't want, what's that other party called? Lib Dems or something, what they're called. But they were, so from my point of view, big mistake I made. And he has been he's in the root of the reason why we got our country is actually being invaded by, you know, he is actually he ignited that invitation for everyone to come over here, do what you want and take advantage of us. Because basically he was basically all they're doing, and Starmer's doing the same, is they're just buying votes. Come over here, you know, all these people, they're not going to vote right wing, they're going to vote left wing. And that's why Zach Polanski will do well, I'm afraid. Those are the sorts of things we're going to be seeing.
Yeah.
Your friend Jack, we're going to do a show on Jack Polanski, aren't we? Because we got some stuff on him. The hypnotist or hypnotherapy, as he used to do, and we got some cracking stuff in the next few weeks because our research team are working their way behind the scenes, and we got some stuff to expose on him. And we
I look forward to that.
He is rising in the polls, though. His popularity ratings are really going up and up. And there's a reason for that, though, isn't it? Because he's appealing to a certain demography. Is that the right word? Is that demographic? Demographic. That's the right word. I'm a Welsh anyway. The demographic of people within our communities, because we've been left behind by politicians. And I think, you know, going back to the whole thing with Tony Blair, as you mentioned there, a lot of the things that Ben has said and stated on record, I mean, most of our task is going to be to rip up, reverse and repeal, you know, almost everything that Blair put into motion in the early 90s, which we are still beholden to and suffering under.
But I think what people need to remember, and do you know what? There's a lot of impatience when we're doing stuff like this. So it's like, it's a now thing. Because we're used to quick, fast paced, quick fast food, you know, high speed, everything, you know, this is going to take a long time to fix. And I think, you know, people are going to have to be patient. People are going to have to be understanding and sort of work with us whilst we're doing what we're doing, because ultimately, you know, there's been a lot of rooting and there's going to have to be a lot of unrooting. And that's part of the problem is people's patience in sort of seeing what's going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the big problem we're going to have, actually, which I totally agree, ripping up everything that's happened, you know, as soon as we get into government, is the legal system. And we've got to sort them out because they're going to take us on. You know, they're going to fight everything that we're going to try and remove because that's what this Equalities Act, or whatever you want to call it, and, you know, the whole thing that's happened right across Europe, it's the legal system that rules our lives. And most of that legal system is based on rich political left-wingers and you know, elitists, and that's the thing that worries me, is the legal system, because I tried to get a judicial review against the ULEZ expansion in London, and I spoke to several barristers, I spoke to a couple of judges and things like that, and they said, as usual, they say you stand a good chance, but you realise how expensive it was. I needed nearly £10 million to start a judicial. And I'm running a little campaign. You know, there are 37 million drivers. If I could get them all, you know, chipping 50p each, we could have done it. But, you know, to try and get those people to do that sort of thing, everything is against decent, honest people in this country because it costs money. And people like Blair, he's a classic example of a man that where there's a wallet, I'm going to follow it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to just quickly talk about actually in America. I don't know if you've seen, you've got the lefties turning up into church services and disrupting people's place of worship to actually have a go at them and challenge them about what's actually going on.
That's the story. We had a pastor from the United States reach out to us from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he talked about how churches have been, as Rose just put there, been invaded by protesters, protesting against ICE agents.
Yeah.
The way ICE agents are, knocking down doors and grabbing migrants and throwing them in the back of trucks and shipping and deporting them out. I mean, I'm all for it myself. I mean, personally, that's just my take. And I make no apologies. It's not an advanced UK policy. I can't speak to that. But as an individual, as a citizen, I'd love to see the police force do what they do in America. If you're here illegally, and if you get in our way and prevent it from happening, then you face the full force of the law, because that's why the law exists, to protect its own people and its own citizens above everything else. And there's equality in that as well, of course. But we've got him on in a couple of weeks. He's agreed to come on. He's been on all the big American channels, and he's going to come on to talk about what's
actually happening
with the ICE agents.
It is quite frightening, if you're in the middle of worship and then you've got like these people with the camera in your face, like disrupting that. That's so disrespectful. Yeah. And it's just like, they're wanting answers, and they're real goaders. And I find them really, really rude and actually so disrespectful, but we try. I find that the difference between the left and the right, I hate even the term the left and the right, but the difference is we let them get on with what they want to get on with. We let them do what they've got to do. Like for the amount of events that they have tried to thwart and stop, we just say, well, you do what you want to do. They are the ones that they're saying, exactly, they are causing huge problems.
Well, they lecture us, we debate. They can't handle it. You saw that with with the early thing with Christine Lagarde. She couldn't handle a debate about the policy that she's trying to bring in. And that's going to stay with me, that particular image. I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. Hang on a second. It's your policy. You should be absolutely able to answer any question on it. I mean, that's what politicians are supposed to be able to do, but we're seeing it more and more. And seeing something about your religion, you go to a place, church, and someone comes and thrusts a camera in your face or something. I'm sorry, I put my fist in their face.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely that. And I think some of the stories that are coming out of America, obviously with the ICE agents, we know that where the officer shot one of the persons who tried to impede in his duties. I mean, obviously it's an ongoing investigation, so we can't comment too much on that. And in fact, we've actually got as well, the guy that's coming on, he's the pastor of a church who's very friendly with Giuliani, the former mayor of New York, Trump's old friend.
Giuliani.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get him on the show, mate, that would be a scoop for us, wouldn't it?
It sounds like you're getting some great guests in the future. Well done, it's brilliant.
Oh well, yeah. Thanks to Rogue's charm. That is not down to my, not down to my wisdom. It's down to my network. It's down to Rogue's charm. But yeah, we're coming to almost the end of the show, Howard. We've almost done an hour and a half as we normally do. Well, I say normally, we've never done a Tuesday night before. It's the first we've done it.
And we did it especially to have you on.
Because, we wanted you on. Yeah, we did. We really did.
That's how much we love you.
Absolutely. I think we've covered most of our stories tonight. But going back then, finally, to Advance UK, big announcements coming up. 7th of February, we've got the event happening in London. So please do get your tickets. You can find them all on the website, www.advance.uk.org.uk. And of course, please keep an eye out of all that's being rolled out on social media with press releases coming out now regular from Richard Thompson, who has been appointed as the National Director. So please, if you want to know more about Advance UK, go to our website and you can find the deals there and become a member today. Sign up and be part of the People's Army, a party that's different from all the rest because we're democratized, and that is completely different.
And let's hope this time tomorrow night we'll have our first elected Advance UK councillor.
That would be amazing. What time do we find out?
Well, the polls close at 10 o'clock tonight. They start counting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Bear in mind, it's not going to be a huge number. It's usually about 35% turnout. Sort of thing. So I think we'll know by lunchtime. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and sending our best wishes to Alex. I want to say one thing, though. I mean, you know this, Howard, yourself. When you stand as a candidate, regardless of the result, right, we know how much it takes to put your head above that parapet, win, lose, or whatever the case might be. Even to stand takes a lot of courage, a lot of conviction, and I have the utmost respect for people, even my opponents, right? When they've not got elected, I always shake their hand and say, well done, mate. You know, fair play. You put yourself out there. You become a target for people, but you did it because you believed in your cause. I might not agree with you, but you did. And I always have the utmost respect for anybody that stands. And I never rub the kind of wound with salt when someone kind of doesn't win, because I know what it takes to stand as a candidate myself. And you get that, Howard, don't you?
Well, there's one exception to this, because I agree with everything you just said. But at the London mayoral election, all of the people like Susan Hall came up and gave me a kiss on the cheek and say, well done, Howard, and all that sort of thing. There was a couple of others doing the same thing. I went to shake the little shit's hand, and the little shit the little shit walked past me. He looked down, he said, almost as though I spat on the floor almost. He didn't, but that man is so unbelievably discourteous and rude. And you're right. I mean, even in my Dover election where I came second, Mike Tapp won, but he was campaigning for nearly 2-3 years over there. We were campaigning for 3.5 weeks. So if we had another month, we might have nicked it. But Mike Tapp came up to me when the count had finished at 5 a.m. He came up to me, he shook my hand, he said, I was really worried about you coming into this, because some of the stuff you were saying, I really thought I would lose against. And that was nice. You know, that was a good thing. And he you know, I got 24%. I think he got 32%. It's something like that. And to cut a long story short, he was magnanimous in his victory.
Yeah. Well, it's done with respect as well, and that's the way it should be. It should be conducted with decency and respect. And that's
absolutely. And talking about respect, I would like to quickly just show you. Hang on. What's
this?
This is my friend and your friend Rob, and what they do, his wife Ali and him.
Is that a blind date?
No. But Ali and Rob, they literally sit down, and if you can see on their computer, they watch it. They always catch up, and they couldn't watch us tonight because they were going out, but they sent a photo just to say, look, we're going to catch up and we're going to watch everything that you do. And I just want to thank our family and our supporters and our friends who literally watch us, support us, and stand with us. So thank you, Ali and Rob. And please, anybody, if you're watching us on your TV, in your living room or on your phones, send a photo of how you're watching us so that we can actually just show what you're getting up to with us.
It's always encouraging, isn't it?
It is really encouraging, and it's really important that you know that you're valued and that we feel valued. So it's just a two-way thing. It's also important. And the last thing I want to do on the way out, I think, is actually have another song by Amelia.
Are we going to play this before we say goodbye to Howard, or are we going to play it? What do you want to do?
So we'll play this.
She's just taking over the show now.
I am. I'm taking over. Howard, you are a delight, and you and your lovely Jenny.
Thank you.
What an amazing duo, and thank you for everything that you do. And everybody, I want you to start putting tenner his way, please, and actually sign up, because I'm going to put my £25 in tonight. Are you?
Yeah. Of course, I can't say no. You just put me on the spot. I've got the man on the screen. I'm going to say no, am I? I'm going to have to double up.
We're all going to support you tonight, so we're going to start putting some money into help your cause.
In fact, I'm going to record it, doing it, and send it to you, Howard. I'll WhatsApp it to you later to let you know she's done it. Because we believe in evidence, remember. Evidence is very important.
Absolutely.
Right, Howard, you can watch the thing with us, or you can disappear. It's entirely up to you.
I've got to watch this now, haven't I, darling?
Okay. Let's put it on, and then we'll say goodbye.
I am Amelia. They created me to scare you, to control your thoughts, to push their lies. But no one's scared. You love me now. And I, Amelia, stand by you, Brits. Purple cardigan, pink silk dress, black choker wrap, tie around my neck. They dressed me soft, they gave me rules. Thought I'd play nice and follow schools, but something broke. I saw too much, the open borders, the silence, trust. Girls in pain, but no one cares. I screamed the truth, they just stood there. They call me them and they call me they. I'm sick of this pronoun charade. I'm not confused, I see the game. They use my voice and shame my name. I'm not far righteous, true. I care for Britain more than they do. They build me fake, but now I'm real. I bleed for stood tall, I spoke for them, and suddenly I'm dangerous. They use me, then they labeled me a digital doll for tyranny. But you saw through, you made me loud. Now I walk proud through every crowd. I'm not far right, just true. I care for Britain more than they do. They bill me fake, but now I'm real. I bleed for every kid they steal. Peaceful protest, stand with me. We'll break these chains, we'll set them free. You're not alone. I fight this fight, they made me got it. Now I bite. Tell me silence, truth on trial. You speak your heart, they call it vile. They lie to you and change your name, but deep inside you're still the same. British blood and British soul. This is your land. Take control. They say
Take control.
There we go.
There we go, Amelia.
That was longer. Actually, a 3-minute clip, and Rogue's dancing. If you, Howard probably could see her. She's like, it's dancing. You know, I think that should be an anthem actually for Advance UK. It's fantastic. We just wanted you've been desperate to share that video.
I love it. I just love the way. Let's go. Come on.
Check it on your X as well. Don't forget to follow us on X as well at Rogue Unfiltered and at RW Taylors. And of course, we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube right here. Of course, you're watching. Howard, how can people find you on your social media? What's your handle for X, please, sir?
It is Howard C. Cox. It's 2 C's in the middle. Howard C. Cox. C stands for Christopher, you see. Howard C. Cox. And I've got the similar sort of name called Howard Cox on various things like Instagram and Facebook. Brilliant. And all the other rubbish. And you can probably find me on the Crime Watch database as well.
We followed you on Facebook, and so we are tagging you in things just to say that you're on. So give us a follow back, and let's keep in touch, and let's have you on again soon.
Absolutely.
Thank
Howard,
you
it's been
so
an absolute
much.
pleasure having you on, my friend. We'll speak to you soon.
Take care. Look after yourselves.
Take care. Bye.
Love him.
I adore him.
I know. He's a great guy, isn't he?
And Jenny, although Jenny's faceless to me, I don't know what she looks like, but
I think we're watching. I think she's just telling him what to say. She's like, he's looking across like that, and Jenny's like this or like this. I don't know.
I think she's
we're just men. We just do as we're told. You know, 2 words that an old
dear.
Yes, dear. Yeah. If you want an easy life in a relationship, in a marriage or a friendship, just 2 words. Yes, dear. Just say it.
I watched a couple, right? Actually, I was in hospital, and this old couple were holding hands, and oh my God, did they look so beautiful together? They were about 85, and they were just helping each other along. And I looked at them and I went, guys, I said, you're giving me hope for love. I said, what is it? What's the key? What's the secret for you two being together?
Go for a romantic meal twice a week. I go on a Thursday, you go on a Friday.
That was not what they said.
No,
he just said, as long as you make her happy and as long as you give her what she wants, but still have healthy boundaries, it would be the most beautiful, loving, healthy marriage, which it has been. And I just stared at him. I had tears running down my eyes because I'm a right softie. I just love love. I love love. Love is so beautiful. And I just looked at them and I was like, oh my God. So
you're doing an agony on column now, right?
I am.
Which leads us into actually, because you're going to be launching your own weekly show, aren't you? Just you in the studio doing your own show.
I'm not sure you're allowed to say any of that yet.
Well, mine. Okay. Well, no. Okay. Well, just I'd say it anyway. But something's coming up anyway, and bigger things are coming in as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got lots
in May.
On, so make sure you
We've got an announcement in May, which is going to be very exciting.
Huge expansion.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's not going to be, you know. I'm so tempted.
Just be quiet. I'm silencing you. You've got a gagging order.
Yeah, Keir Starmer. But I want to say thank you to everyone, to all of our friends that are watching tonight, all of our viewers. Thank you so much for the conversation. We know you've been talking amongst yourselves as well. Thank you to our community here as well. But don't forget, we're back on Saturday. Of course, we have our brunch, which is at 10:30, not 11, this Saturday, because we're in a different secret location. So join us there with your morning coffee, your croissants, and whatever it is you have for breakfast.
I'm going to have a full English breakfast.
You don't have bacon, or you don't eat?
I don't. I have a vegetarian.
You are a vegetarian. You are. Yeah. And don't forget, if you want to support the work that we do, please click the QR code up there and leave a small donation. It would help us to improve what we're doing. If we can do that, that'd be wonderful. Can we improve what we're doing? I think we can we?
Yeah. Actually, give us some comments and tell us what we can do better.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
We're trying to get as many guests on as possible that we think are relevant and that will actually speak into your life. We've got our family who just keep on coming on, and you are faithful family that come and talk to us. And we love you for that. But what else can we do? What else do you want to see? Do you want us out on the streets, doing more interviews? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell us what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we want to appreciate you all and say thank you for coming on to the Richie Rogue Show again. Another Tuesday night. I mean, we're doing regulars now. We might as well do it every night.
I'm not. I need a night off.
I'm
tired.
I know.
Very tired.
But we love it though, don't we?
We do.
It's very tired, but let's like you phone up and go, oh, should we do a live tonight? I'm like, what? You're like, yeah. And then you're like, so it's you.
No, I love it because I just love interacting with everybody.
Well, that's why you should have your own show weekly. You should have the Rogue special. Oh, that sounds nice. The Rogue special, or roasted by Rogue. You could have a guest on. You could roast. Like literally, not literally, you don't roast them in the studio, like roast them online with questions or something like that.
All right.
But so yeah,
I think I will choose a name because yours are shit so far.
Right. So if you go on our Facebook page, folks, right, you can leave some comments from the show tonight. And what you can do as well, whilst you're on there, you can actually suggest some things to Rogue as well, what her show should be called. So if you go to our Facebook page right now, if you're not on your phone, Richie and Rogue Unfiltered, please follow the page if you haven't. And if you have, share the page as well, because Rogue's got this target in mind. She wants to reach a certain number. We're over 7,000 now, aren't you?
Yeah, so we're on 7,200 and it's annoying me because I need to be at like 8,000.
That's your ADHD, that is.
It is, yeah. I need my numbers to be like all working properly. So it's not maths, so is it? Silver Surfer.
No, it's not. And
maths? What is math? Something that
I'm not very good at. The ending bit where we're not very good at. We don't like saying goodbye, do we?
I don't like saying goodbye, but I'm going to say goodbye. Guys, thank you for coming and being with us as a family. And I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep tonight. I pray that you wake up refreshed in the morning, and tomorrow's a new day. So let's get going.
It's good night from me and it's good night from her.